Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar, Make Your Business AI Ready, Part 2, presented by Consultare. I'm your host, Danielle Messich. I'm a sales and pre-sales consultant with Consultare for SAP Business One, and I'm also a longtime SAP Business One expert. Joining me on the screen today are Gustavo Zientek, CEO of Consultare himself, and we also have Avinash Varma, the managing director at Consultare and certified SAP Business One consultant, presenting a very special solution for us today. He'll be doing the demo. Thanks, Avinash. For those of you who aren't familiar, just getting acquainted with us, Consultare is an SAP partner that specializes in a solution, an ERP solution called SAP Business One. This is an ERP solution designed specifically for small and mid-sized companies. In fact, the majority of SAP's customers are not large enterprise. They are small and mid-sized companies. 80% of their client base is small and mid-sized companies, and that's who we work with. And we only sell and support SAP Business One ERP. We don't represent any other ERP solutions. It's our bread and butter. It's what we live and breathe every day. We've been at this for a very long time, headquartered in Miami, Florida. We have a subsidiary in Hyderabad, India, and an office in Buenos Aires, Argentina as well. And we're able to provide a true global support footprint to all of our clients with our reach. And we specialize in financial accounting, warehouse and inventory management, process manufacturing, project management, e-commerce integration. If that's something that you're thinking about doing, then please talk to us. And EDI integration too, which is becoming a growing need across the board. Now, there are a number of topics that we could choose to talk about, right, Gustavo? I mean, and we spent a lot of time debating, like, what do we want to talk to clients and prospective buyers about when we do this webinar every month? And ultimately, we settled on AI for some very important reasons. And number one being is just that's the buzzword. That's what everyone's, I think, kind of cautiously curious about, right? And I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk about, you know, why is AI so important and what are the risks of not implementing AI? The so many, let's address the elephant in the room, right? Fear. People are afraid AI is going to replace jobs, it's going to replace humans. But the purpose of AI is really to make our jobs easier so that we can achieve more in less time. And people who are using AI will tell you that that's exactly what it's doing. And that's what we're going to show you today is that we're going to show you a tool that is going to transfer the power from the from the SAP partner's plate to you, the end user, so that you can do more and rely on us less, so that you can take that money that you were spending on a process that we're automating with AI to invest in another area of your business. And let me tell you, if you don't implement AI in your operations, you will fall behind your competitors who are, because you're developing this fast, and with AI, they're developing this fast. You will continue to see rising operational costs. You'll experience talent drain in your employee base. Employees want to work with the latest and greatest technologies that make their job easier. And uh, implementing AI is one of the ways that we can actually improve employee retention, because companies' employees are excited about doing their job. And customer expectations are shifting. Everybody wants information yesterday. Everybody wants it done yesterday. Everyone wants the answer last week. And so for those companies who or for those individuals who are just kind of putting AI aside and kind of ignoring it because they're afraid that it will replace people. Uh, I encourage you to replace that thought process with this statement here, and that's that I can solve my customers' problems faster with AI than without it. That's a fact. And I must implement AI before my customers replace me with an AI powered competitor who can solve their problems faster. So we actually know that data issues are one of the leading causes of ERP project overruns after scope creep and change management. And in fact, 25% of ERP project time is lost to data preparation. And you may have experienced some of this in your work and your work with your existing ERP solution. And Gustavo, would you just take a moment and explain to the audience why is that? Like, why does data import take so much time? But
This is
shouldn't it be
extremely
easy?
this is extremely important because the most important asset in your company is your data. And it's called master data because there's nothing above it. It's master. This is the data you need to run your operation. This means your chart of accounts, your items, your vendors, your customers, your sales history. There's a lot of information here that is extremely important that we need to set up your system. When we set up your system, we will request from you master data. If you have just a few items, it's very easy to get this done. But if you have thousands of items, or if you have thousands of customers, it is extremely important to go through each one and validate the data. And to do that takes a long, long, long time and is very tedious. So we develop a tool that we will show today to make all this validation substantially faster.
Yeah,
So
thank you, Gustavo. And, I was curious, so I actually asked Cora, our AI agent, the other day, how many tables of data actually exist in SAP Business One? And she said over 500. Over 500. So each one of those tables has a unique name and stores a unique set of data and has its own little special quirks for the data CSV file template that we use to import the data. And generally, it requires knowledge, it requires training, it requires practice to be able to operate those tools. And for that reason, we developed what we're about to show you today, which is a tool that leverages the power of AI to just speed up the process. And we all know time is money in a very big way. Time is money. So this tool will enable you to reduce your prep time for your data import by as much as 80 to 90%. No joke. And you're going to see it in action in just a moment. And whether you are a new client implementing Business One and bringing data in from your legacy system for the first time, faster go live means quicker time to value, means you recognize the return on your investment for your ERP solution sooner, and that matters. And not all partners import data the same way. So we're really excited to be able to power this portion of the implementation with AI. And, clean, accurate data import is the foundation of every successful ERP implementation. And for those of you who are existing clients on the call today, we all know, implementation doesn't stop when you go live. It's a never-ending project. As your company grows and evolves, your needs evolve, and we begin to deploy more of the functionality that's there in the box in SAP Business One. We deploy the critical path right away, but as we go on, we may need to bring more legacy data out of your old system and bring it into the new one. And you're likely calling us to help you with that process because it's a bit sophisticated. So let's just put the power in your hands so you can do more in less time. So Avinash, the floor is yours. And before you start pointing and clicking and working all your magic, would you just please tell us in your own words, what are we about to see and why is this so exciting?
Sure. Thank you very much, Daniel. And it's a great introduction by you and Gustavo about the data and how important it is. The tool that I'm going to present you today is going to solve all these problems. It's very simple. You log in into the website that we have. You select what is the data that you're importing, and you upload the Excel, and that's it. Let me walk you through what I'm saying. This is the portal that we are talking, um, developed and presented by Consultare. These are the credentials. I log in into the portal. You see what are the categories that you can import, and you can add many more as we want. Item master data, financial data, and asset master data, and all the setup data that we have. Today, for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to walk you through the general info, in other words, the business partner master data. These are the field instructions that you see. You can download the template of the DTW, or you can download the sample of it, and you can see how it looks like. Once your data is prepared, you simply come and click on the link upload, and you go to the prepared files. I have some files prepared for the data demonstration purposes today. Um, I took minimal records just to make it quick. Now I'm uploading it. So it says when soon after I click it, it's uploaded. It gives you a message, please wait. The data is validating. In very few seconds or less than a minute, you get all these records, and it said how many records we uploaded, how many are valid, how many have warnings and errors. We have a filter option where we can select how many errors we have. We can open the Excel file that, let me reshare my whole screen. Um, Excel file that we have, and go back and see where you can correct the data. So it explains here, this particular customer code has an issue with the phone number. This one has an issue with both phone number and email. It is saying our AI model that we trained with our SAP Business One schema and semantics identifies that these are not matching, or the length of the string is not correct, whatever it is. And now if I go back and check, yes, there are some issues with this. Um, there are some issues with this. You see the phone number is not fully present. Somewhere it says instead of the number, it has the text. So I have already prepared it for the demo purposes in the interest of time. The corrected file, where there is a second version that I prepared.
So while that's loading, I'd just like to point out again, I think Avinash said already, but I want to highlight that we're doing this in a web browser. We're uploading the data from a web browser, which is different than the traditional process, right?
Yeah. So we don't have, sorry, Renel, that's correct. And it's also easy and simple. You can access this web portal from anywhere. Before even the SAP system is implemented, sometimes you don't have access to the system yet. You don't know how to access. So this portal is very intuitive. You don't need to
Fantastic.
know about SAP at all, because everything is trained. So
I love
once you
that.
download the template and the sample, you pretty much entering information that you know, and the tool itself tells you that, now with the corrected data, it is still giving you the warnings, right? it is saying that for one of these verifying the email domain for accuracy because they see that domain doesn't seems to be very common, and also we have multiple addresses, so it is warning you, um, you know, please go back and check, but it is not an error. It is matching all the requirements of SAP, but AI will still tell you that whether you are making it sure or not, you know. Um,
So Avinash questions, what is the difference between the error and warning then?
Error is something that it is not a go or to go to upload data into SAP Business One. A warning is something that AI is helping you in terms of maybe it's a mistake. Please check. It is not seems to be a common data point. For example,
Excellent.
yeah,
This is terrific.
Mhm. And uploading after corrections one more version of it. It is very surprising when I was testing with the data. It is saying that I'm using an email address same for multiple rows. So it identified both the rows and saying, hey, it's not possible that two different customers can have the same email address, that to a Gmail address. So it is that specific in terms of letting you know that where we are going wrong. So I've corrected all of that and I have made some changes and I've done a final version. Now, if you see, all of them seems to be corrected. I have different email addresses, phone numbers different. Now I'm uploading that. A little
So
more.
Avinash, this is a short file. If we take a file with like 10,000 lines, how long will it take to analyze it?
Um, it's on the same pro rata basis. 10,000. We have tested with 10,000 rows. We have tested with 5,000 rows. Um, Less than 4 5 minutes, or less
Terrific.
than that, 3 to 4 minutes, sometimes 2 minutes, depends upon the data volume, but it is not
It
too much time.
it takes me 4 minutes to open the file, so that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. 4,000, 5,000 records that we tested, it was less than a minute. Sometimes based on the load, your internet speed also, it takes a little bit time. So the maximum time that I'm mentioning, but it should be hardly somewhere around 1 to 3 minutes.
Fantastic. The things that I love the most about this tool, I mean, there's so many things I love about this tool. But first of all, it's just so easy to read the screen and to make sense of the data that's represented there. Like I don't have to, like Gustavo said, it takes 4 minutes to open the file. Sometimes it takes me a few minutes just to process all of the information that's right there in front of me. But here it's very clear. It's easy to see where the problem is, what we need to change to fix it. And these little AI insight sentences are just amazing. That's it. And, we there's so much buzz about, oh, well, AI is going to be like this big robot takeover. And what this is doing is the opposite. Really, it's humanizing technology to make it easier for everybody to understand.
Indeed, and something that we need to remember about AI is always the human in the loop. AI by itself is not doing everything. Us, a human, needs to go ahead and approve this data and make sure that this is done correctly and that the file is perfectly fine to be uploaded. AI is helping us doing this task.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so we're just looking at a set of customer data here today, but there's so much more, as you can see over on the left side of the screen there. We can import information for production, for inventory, financials using this tool, and fixed assets, which is something that we've been talking about offline, is the
Mhm.
the power fixed asset implementation can be quite complex and take a lot of time to import the data into the system, but this is really going to simplify the process in a huge way. I know some customers that are going to be so excited to use this.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, anything else you'd like to show,
Um,
Avinash?
Um, this is a quite simple and starting demo. Let's say if I have to go into the details, we can schedule a separate session and we can go
Yeah,
explain the whole thing.
if you're interested in learning more about using this tool for you, and this tool is available to our customers, that would be great because then they can go ahead and if you're creating items every month, if you're selling items that are different items all the time, or if you're going through an implementation process, you can use this tool to help you uh, have the perfect file to be uploaded.
Right. And
Yes,
and also,
and
Gustav, something to add. Let's say if you want to test or validate your UDOs and all of that, we also have the complete flexibility of adding their own user-defined objects and still validate the data. So
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you, Avinash.
okay, and if you didn't catch the previous session, here's an example of some of the other AI tools that are available from Consultare and Solutions. Cora, I mentioned, just put the link in the chat where you can go to access that information. We looked at Mango, the machine-assisted next generation OCR document generation. That has been a really big hit with our clients. So if you're curious about how you can take a PDF file of a purchase order or an AP invoice, for example, and bring that into automatically generated document in Business One just by emailing it to the system, we can show you how to do that. It's really, really cool. And then, of course, if you haven't already, please go to the website and download a copy of Gustavo's book, Successful ERP Implementations. You can go download a copy of the book there for free, although it's available for purchase on Amazon. We're offering it to you for free. And are there any questions? Would anybody like to ask a question? I know we already asked you some questions.
No, looks great.
Perfect.
Great,
Thank you, Ryan,
thank
so
you.
much.
Well, if you'd like to book a meeting with us, you can go to our website, click on Contact Us, and scroll to the bottom of the page to open a calendar with our availability and book a meeting with me, book a meeting with Anthony or Gustavo, chat with an expert today. And please do stay tuned, be on the lookout for information about our next session. I know it's going to be another exciting topic. Thanks for tuning in today, and I look forward to catching you on the next webinar.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.